Madam, I have okay. Can just wait for some time. I'll just call the answer. Okay. Student who joined in the online, just send me the message like are you able to- because I'm not getting the voice. Without, like, what is that? Yeah. So, okay, I will share and then we will start. Okay, sir. Already 10 minutes. साडेसहा सांगितलं तेव्हा करेक्ट आहे लास्ट 15 minutes त्याला तुम्हाला 10 minutes support break. After that we will come. Okay, so now we'll start. Okay, सगळेजण सेट झाले. ओके अजून ऍडजस्टमेंट पाहिजे असेल तर 1 मिनिटात करून घे. ओके नंतर दरवाजाही आवाज चेअरचाही आवाज. Okay, so this is our first lecture. We will start. So first thing, like as I explained yesterday, so we'll just go from the first one. So first thing we are learning the data, also data in this code. Okay, so you will be playing with the software. So there will be one tool, data analytics tool, and on that you are just doing some visualizations and giving like creating some dashboards and provide to the end user. Who will be there taking the like just take the that data or your dashboard and you will take some decisions like just focus the data and take some decisions. Okay, so first thing we just get to know like what is the software. So as I asked question yesterday, day before yesterday, so what is the software in the real world? So yeah, the software is the application or web application which is developed to provide the solution to the specific. It is a solution specific solution for it like it is the application or web application which is designed to provide the solution to the real world problem. Okay, so it's depend like तुमचा प्रॉब्लेम जेवढा स्पेसिफिक असेल तेवढं सोल्युशन आपण स्पेसिफिक प्रोव्हाइड करतो. ओके, सो फर्स्ट थिंग राईट डाऊन करायचं. ओके, right now this is the normal question which may be asked in the interview. Yes, I will, but you can try when that in a plus. It's totally depend on you. You want to write or not. Okay, from online batch students just write. Okay, so example is what are the different type of what are the different type of the software? So you can just take Zomato, PhonePe, Google Pay, and in next slide you will get the number of examples. So which you are using in daily life. Okay. Uh, yes, I shared my screen. No, sorry, now I'm sharing. Okay, is it visible to you? So, Mohit? Already sticker. लॅपटॉप म्हणजे they can hear me but I can't hear them. Okay, so first, then it will take my 10 minutes, next 10 minutes. Then I am not able to do it. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, no screen is visible. Okay, I think now screen is visible. Okay, so first question the first thing, which that is the what is software in the real world. So software is the application or web which is provide solution to the real life problem. Okay, then for example, the examples you can take the Zomato, PhonePe, GPay, Instagram, YouTube, Map, any messaging application, whatever you are using in your cell phone, that will be the application, like example of the software. Okay, and then other things are also there, like web applications. So the application which is running on the website, that is known as the web application. So if somebody asks you is the difference between the app software, standalone software and web application, then you should give the answer. So standalone applications are running on the specific system, and the web applications which are running on the website. Okay. So now I think it's visible. Can you just check the network from your side? Okay. Then as we learn like what is the software. So software has a major component. First one is the user interface, then backend, that is the database, then programming language. So thing is that whatever you are designing in the front end using the HTML CSS, okay, and the database which is we are going to develop using the SQL. Okay, so to establish the connection between the front end and back end. For this purpose, we need the programming language. Okay, so by using that, we can provide the functionality to our code like front end, and the database will be handled from your front end. Like if you click on the delete button, then it should delete the record. If you click on the fit, it should insert the record in the specific table. Okay, so the role of the SQL in the industry, that is the SQL is the scripting language. Okay, we are writing the script, and which is used to create or maintain the databases. Okay. So SQL, if you like ask me what is the difference between the query language and structured query language. So structured query language is for the sequential database. Okay, and query language, it is a common. So query language, you can deal with the sequential or the structured or unstructured database. Okay, so that is the difference between the SQL and query language. Okay, if you want to write, then you can. Yes. Okay, the difference between the SQL and QL, that is query language. So SQL is used to create and maintain the sequential. Uh, Instead of sequential, you can write the structured database. Create the create maintain the structured database. Structured and structured. Yes. For the SQL, write structured, and query language, you can write both. Both. You can write both because SQL is the sub part of the query language. Okay. Okay. We'll repeat again. Okay. SQL is a scripting language which is used to create and maintain the database. Query language, this is also one scripting language which is used to create and maintain both like structured and unstructured database. Okay, got it? Okay, the student who joined in online, you get it like what is the SQL and query language? Just anyone can start. You can just unmute and tell me. I just started to record that sound. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we got two things. First one is what is the software and the component of software, that is the front end, back end, and programming language. Okay. For that, like you want to write down the technologies. So for front end, you can write the HTML, CSS. For back end, you can write the database. So for database, you can just write the RDBMS, MySQL, anything because these are the different types. And programming language, you can just take it as a Python or Java. Okay. Okay. So we just come to the specific our SQL. So we'll skip the part of the rest. This is the constructed and programming language to the side. We'll start focus on the things that is the database. Okay. So yeah, another main Aleka. Okay. And okay, query language. It is a scripting language which is used to create and maintain structured or unstructured database. Okay. Next concept of the data further. What is database? Okay. Query language is the scripting language is used to create and maintain structured or structured database. I wait, नाही सर तुम्ही लॉबीमध्ये पण नाही येत सर. 14 स्टुडंट ऍड केले ते ऑलरेडी. चेक करतो नितेश मीटिंग नाही नितेशने 6 वाजता जॉईन केलेला आय थिंक. सेशन 6:30 स्टार्ट होणार होता. ओके. Okay, so next one, what is database? So database is the memory space where we can store the data. Okay, like a warehouse. In the warehouse, we are storing the material. So in the database, we are storing the data. Okay, so yeah, you can just see the one image after that definition. So that is the one local database and one application, and there like the device is there. So complete thing is device. Device contains the database and the application. सो येस डिव्हाइसमध्ये एक डेटाबेस असणार आहे एक ऍप्लिकेशन असणार आहे. ओके आता ऍप्लिकेशन मधून आपण कम्युनिकेट करतो लाईक जो युजरला समजतं म्हणजे हायर लेवलचा डिझाईन असतं ते आपल्याला समजतं प्रोग्रामिंगला. बट बॅकएंडला सॉफ्टवेअरच्या जे लोअर लेवल लँग्वेज असते लाईक बायनरी फॉर्मॅट त्यांना समजते. त्याच्यासाठी लाईक आता सपोज एक सिम्पल एक्झाम्पल सांगतो. सगळ्यांना मराठी हिंदी समजतंय. Everybody understands Hindi Marathi. But if you okay, English. Okay. So no, yes. एकच लिंक. तुमच्याकडे बनवलाय ते ऍडमिट करायला ऑप्शन नाही येत. इथे तुम्हाला ऍड करायला ऑप्शनच येत नाही माझ्याकडे. एकदा पण ओके. आता चेक करा ना तुमच्या ट्राय करा एकदा. ऍक्च्युली 2 लॅपटॉपला कनेक्ट केलंय त्याच्यामुळे ते कन्फ्युजन झालं. इकडे चालू आहे माझ्या लॅपटॉपमध्ये मी मीटिंग लॉगिन केली त्याच्यामध्ये. ओके डेटाबेस राईट डाऊन केलं. ओके आपण कुठे जातो. ओके सो डेटाबेस एक्सप्लेन केलं. आय वॉज एक्सप्लेनिंग द लँग्वेज. So, like, if you go somewhere else, like out of Maharashtra, if you go to the south or north, north is similar, but if you go to the south, they are speaking in the different language, yeah, Telugu or other language. So, if you want to get communicate with them, so you must have the common language. Okay. So, if you talk if you just speak in Marathi, so they will can't understand. If you just, speak in their native language, then you can understand. You can't understand. Okay. So thing is that if you want to communicate with them, then you must have a common language. Same thing, if you want to communicate with the database, you should have the common language which you can understand and the database can understand. Okay. So for that purpose, we are learning the SQL. It is a structured query language which is used to communicate between the user and the database. Okay. Okay. Online batch मध्ये student. Recording चालू आहे. ओके ना रेकॉर्डिंग स्टार्ट केलेलं आहे ऑलरेडी 20 मिनिट झाले रेकॉर्डिंग स्टार्ट करून. Okay, you can just refer that one. Okay, database is clear. Okay, then what is data? So as I told in the last slide, in the database we are going to store the data, right? So we must have to understand what is data. Okay, so data is collection of the raw facts. Okay, so this is the technical definition. Data is collection of the raw facts. And second thing is data is used to describe the object. Okay, so first thing we need to understand what is object. Okay, if you understand what is object, then you will get the idea what is data and how we can store the data. So yeah, what is object? So object is the real life entity. Okay, so like real life or real world, you can say it. Okay, so anything in the world that you can consider as an entity. So living thing, so like any student is an object or entity, and the non-living things like laptop, mobile phone, motherboard, anything. Okay. So yeah, we'll just take one example. What is the object and how we can describe that object. So if you want to write anything, then just let me know. Else we will go to the next slide. Uh, from online batch, if you like, you're not getting anything, just let me know and try to be interactive. And one more thing, let me know like I'm going fast, slow, anything. Like, if I'm going fast, then let me know. Then I will just come. So we have related this data and this object. Okay. So we are just going to see the with example. Just take one example. So in the slide, you can see we have the object. Object. I'm just giving the object as a student, and how we can describe the object. Like how we can describe student. Just can you just tell me like how can describe? Yeah. So, like, if you consider the student is the object, so we can describe it by his name, his age, his gender, then other things like weight and any other things we can just add. So, yeah, this is one object, and the data will be the student name. What is the student name? So, if I just tell the student name Aniket, so Aniket will be data. Okay. Then age, just take it as 21, gender is it is 50. Okay. So the thing like Aniket, 21, male, and 50, that will be the data, and student will be the object. Okay. So, yes, I'm just going back. So, did you get like what is the object and what is the data? What is the relation between it? Hmm? या स्टुडंट लिंक वाचू शकतो ना म्हणजे आहे ना असं स्टुडंट आहे ना Yes, so we can just take another example. So this is one like which I have mentioned in slide. So other example we can just take it anything. Okay. Yeah, laptop. So if you take the laptop, so can you just take me the what will be the things like what will be the characteristics of the laptop? So we can take the RAM, size, price, color, then what we can accessories, or you can take the company is manufacturing. Then other things like you can add. Yes. Okay. And another example. So if you just take one example of the water bottle. So we'll just take. the company, size, price, manufacturer. These will be the properties of this specific object. Okay. So yes, so we learn what is object, what is data, what is database. Okay. So now we have to learn what is the characteristics, properties or attributes of the object. So characteristics, properties, attributes of the object which is used to describe the object. Like using the characteristics of the object, we can describe the object. Okay. So thing is that why I'm taking this thing here. So whenever you are going to design any database, so you may have different type of objects, and you have to just identify what are the characteristics of the object. And there is one next part, so that will like explain later. So then we find what is the dimension and what is the measure. So for now, just understand to describe any object, we need some properties or characteristics, and the data like the what is the actual data. So it will come to the as a data, normal data. ओके सो म्हणजे जो काही डेटा आहे म्हणजे ज्या गोष्टीने तुम्ही एखादी ऑब्जेक्ट डिस्क्राईब करणार आहे त्याला आपण काय बोलणार डेटा. म्हणजे काही प्रॉपर्टीज वगैरे असणार आहे आपण त्याला आपण त्याचे ऍट्रिब्यूट किंवा कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स बोलणार आहे. आणि देन ऑब्जेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट तुम्ही एनिथिंग काही घेऊ शकता. हॉल जरी घेतला आपण तरी हॉलचे पण आपण कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स फाइंड आउट करू शकतो. त्याची लेंथ किती आहे, विड्थ किती आहे, हाईट किती आहे, देन किती स्क्वेअर फूट आहे, त्याला कलर, खूप साऱ्या गोष्टी त्याच्यात. ओके समजलं सगळ्यांना? Did you understand? I just give the example of this hall and explain the like part with characteristics of it. Okay. You got the example, this one, water bottle, laptop. Yeah. Okay. Then we'll go to the next one. Uh, yeah. So we got data, object, database. So now we are going to learn the types of database. Okay. So majorly there are two types of the database. First one is a structured database, second one is the unstructured database. So as mentioned in the name only, the structured database, which is used to store the data in structured format. So if you go to like consider like what will be the structured database, it has the specific format to store the data, or like we can say it has the specific framework to store the data. So for that we can take example of the table, and if you want to take the normal example what you are using, so Excel is the best example of the structured database. Okay, Abhijit, you are getting. Okay. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. Okay. Then unstructured database. So unstructured database here data format. So we like so file storage format. That is the one of the example of the unstructured database. So if you see in the file, you can store the paragraph. You can store your image as well. Like if you just take in the PDF file, you can store anything. Okay. So this will be the example of the unstructured database. So we are not focusing on the unstructured database. We will be focusing on the structured database. So yes, we will go to the next slide. And first 2 days you will be boring because this all are the concepts which are the first 2 days it will be the theoretical session. Okay, done. Okay, to run the query, we can use MySQL, MariaDB. So my choice is instead of using the MySQL variable, we will use MariaDB. Okay, so from there we can just like do the shell scripting. Yeah. And in like if you go to the work page, then they will provide a one UI, like everything will be there. You have to just write the queries there. So according to me, MongoDB is best. Like MongoDB is best. Okay. Then we go to the next slide. What is the database management system? Okay, you understand database, data, both things you understand. So, the database, we need to write some script, okay? But where we can write the script? Not in just a notepad, right? We can't write the script in the notepad, and we can't execute it as well. So, the database management system is the application of software which is used to create and manage databases. So, it is the system which is used to manage the databases. Okay, so if you want to take example of RDBMS, it is the one database management system. Hmm? RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Yes, right. Okay. Till now, anybody have any doubt in concept from online batch? Uh, okay, I will you ask for question like which processor and what. So normally we prefer the 64-bit and we have Windows anyone Linux, then anything like if you have Linux, Windows or Mac, anything will be no issue. Yes. So we understand what is the database management system. Then we'll see what are the different type of the databases. So first one is the relational database, which is commonly used. Then next one is the network database, where the system are connected in the network and we are storing the data using the network database. Then object-oriented database, the hierarchical database, centralized database, cloud database, and persistent database. Okay. So object-oriented database where we can store the data based on the object. Okay. The hierarchical have some parent, like we can say parent database, like admin database, and then we have some branches to it. So that is the hierarchical. Then centralized, that is the common normal which is used. Like cloud is the one of the example of the centralized, like cloud command both category. Cloud database in which we can store data in a cloud. So cloud storage, we can store cloud database where we can store the data in the cloud storage. So cloud storage has also a physical existence, like somewhere they have their servers in. Okay. So these are different types of databases, and we will mainly focus on relational database. Okay. Till now, anybody has any doubt, problem, question? Right. So as I told you, last slide. To handle the relational databases, we have one system, that is relational database management system. Using that, you can just create, maintain the relational databases. Okay, so RDBS is the relational database management system, which is used to store the data in the table format of relational model. So we have to see what is the relational model next. So first, just write down what is the relational database management system. Okay, object network database is the database where the computers are connected in the network format, and we are storing data in the network. So like if you see in the industry, we have different type of, we have the network in the whole industry, and if you find like some data is stored in like your system, and some data might be stored in the another system. So if you have the like database admin access, then yeah, you can just access the data over a network. Okay, so RDBMS follow the relational model. Okay, so we have to understand what is the relational model. So this RDBMS system is designed by one, you can say, the computer engineer whose name is EF Pod. So when he was designing the system, that is relational model, so he follows a rule. We can just say the rule of purpose during designing the relational model. So we have to see what are the different rules. Okay, so there are total 12 rules, but five are more important, and the others are different from same. Okay, so I just mentioned the like main five. Other things like you will get, like if you go to the India online, you will get the things, but these five you must have to understand. If you understand five, then the others you can easily understand. Okay, query language I have already explained, so I think no need to explain again. SQL is also explained, no need. So we'll see what is the relational model. Okay, so it is EF code. So if somebody asks me in the interview, tell me the EF code, so you must understand it. You have to tell the rule which follow to develop or design relational model. So first we'll understand what is the relational model. So it is designed by EF code. Then in a relational model, data is stored in relation of column row format. Okay, that is a table format. Okay, and in RDBMS relational model, we can store the metadata. Okay, so I will this is the metadata. Done. So metadata is a concept, it is the concept in which we can store the data about the data. So metadata is the data about the. So we'll just take the small example. Everybody is aware about the PDF file. Okay. So in the PDF file, we are storing the data, right? Everybody is agree. So if you check the details like properties of the file, then you will get some additional data like file name and like when it is created, size of the file, and format of it. So that is the metadata. So same case in the relational model, you can find the data like related to the table. So when table is created, who is the owner of that table, when last verification is done, like this. Okay, so yeah, that is the metadata. Metadata basically it is the data about the data. Same for like this one, we can just take example of the photos in your mobile phone. So if you open any photo that is data, and if you just check the properties of that images, then you will get the additional information that is the image name, the location, then from which mobile phone it is taken, the other details. So I will make all. Okay, done for online match. Okay, so now we'll see uh, the advantage of the SQL. Okay, so as of now, we done like we know that we have to do that first know the of the SQL. So if you use the SQL, then it is easy to maintain large databases. Second thing, you can provide the security to it. Third one, you can take backup of it. Then it is cost effective and help to increase the performance of the application. So if you compare the database to the conventional file system, so we'll just take one example. So if you see like in earlier days, the bank has some registers. Instead of storing data in the like in this system, they were storing data in the diaries format. Like if you go now by the cashier has that file and they're writing things. So like we'll just see like what will be the advantage. So if you go there and if you ask them, I have credited 5,000 rupees in last week, but it is not credited to my account. So if they don't use the database, then what will be the like performance and how much time they will take to find out the reports? Question someone like there's some okay. If you visit any bank, okay, and consider in last week you have credited 5,000 to your account, but due to some issue, it is not credited to your bank account. And you go there and you ask them, I have credited this amount on this day, but it is not credited to my account. So if they are using the conventional file system, okay, then how much time they will take to find out the record? And normally, how many files they have? Yes, normally they will tell you you come in the next week, we will see. Okay, but if you use the database like now, nowadays have the databases or their systems, so they can check like by single click they can find the data. Okay, same thing like the records we store on the diary, they are not secured. Anybody can access. Like the peon in the bank, he also can access it. He also can access the data. But if you use the any database, then you can provide the security to it. Okay. Then backup. Okay. So yeah, backup is like if you lost the data, then how we can recover it? Or two times we can take the backup. One, when we lost the data, and when you want to prevent the data from getting lost. Okay, so first one is the precaution measure, and second one is the recovery. So we will consider on the precaution. Okay, so if you want to take backup of the data, so if you have any database, then you can just create the copy. But if you go to the conventional file system, then it will be difficult, and we can say the difficult task. Okay, then cost effective. So we know that like the stock, like whenever the company is now into, they have started to use the softwares, manpower automatically gets decreased. Like any bank, if they have 10 employees, then they are using conventional file system. So now they can, the single person can manage the. So that is the cost effective in term of labor cost. Also the thing is that it is increasing performance of the system. So that is also one part of the cost effective. Okay. Then help to increase the performance of application. So yes, it is definitely helping us to improve the performance of the system. And if you increase the performance of the system, automatically your business performance will also increase. Okay, so any company like which is using databases, they can easily maintain their databases and take the decision from it. Okay, so they can decrease the manpower, they can increase the budget and allocate the hours as well. So yes, they can expand their business. But these are the advantages of the SQL. Okay, this part we will learn later. Like your model is not necessary right now. Okay, so now we have to see what is CF code rules. Okay, so first we'll just go through the rules. So first one is data should atomic or single value. Okay, so first we will understand and then you can write. So data should atomic or single value. It means that data should not divide further into the different parts. Okay, so if you take name, so we can't like divide it into the different two three pieces. So like you can divide the full name in three different parts, but you can't like if you just take the first name, then you can just split it into the two, right? Are you getting? No? Okay. मराठीमध्ये एक्सप्लेन करतो then I will explain English. Okay. If you okay आता सिंपल गोष्ट आहे. समजा तुमचं नाव काय आहे? शुभ. ओके. तर शुभ या नावाला आपण पुढे जाऊन डिवाइड करू शकतो का? त्याचं काही मिनिंग असेल का? आपण कन्सिडर केलं स्टुडंट एक ऑब्जेक्ट आहे. ओके. हे तुम्हाला सांगितलं नेम, हाईट, नेम, एज, जेंडर अँड वेट. ओके. सो आपण इफ यू आर टेकिंग वेट, देन वेट जर 50 असेल त्याला आपण पुढे जाऊन डिवाइड करू शकतो का? आणि इफ यू डिवाइड इट, देन त्याचा काही व्हॅल्यू राहणार का त्याची काही? नाही. जेंडर आपण पुढे जाऊन डिवाइड करू शकतो का? नाही. एजला आपण डिवाइड करू शकतो का? नाही करू शकत. लाईक डिवाइड केलं त्याचं मिनिंग नाही राहणार. सेम नेमला आपण डिवाइड केलं त्याचं मिनिंग राहणार आहे? नाही राहणार. सो data should be atomic or single value. Like if you you can have two mobile numbers. Okay, so you can just in the system if you see it is accepting only 10 digits. Okay, so that is the design criteria. So they just want only one mobile number, that is single value. and they will just provide the alternate, like alternate mobile number, like this. So, but the first thing is that data should atomic or single. Okay. Okay. Then next, while creating table, data types are mandatory and constraint are optional. Okay. For now, just understand the rule. We'll explain what are the data types and constraint. Okay. फक्त सध्यासाठी एवढंच लक्षात ठेवा data types are mandatory and the constraint optional. Okay. Whenever you are going to design any database, then you must have know that data types are mandatory and constraint are optional. Okay. Then rather than one table, we can store data in the multiple table and join using the key constraint. Okay, so constraint I will explain later, but for now just keep one thing in mind. Rather than storing data in the one table, we can store it in the multiple tables and we can join it. Okay, for now keep this thing only in mind. Okay, and last one, to validate the data, we can assign data type and constraint. Okay, so data types and constraint एकदा जेव्हा तुम्हाला समजते, then you can read this thing. त्यावेळेस पण मी तुम्हाला परत एक्सप्लेन करेन. But for now, just keep it in mind. So एक example आहे आपल्याकडे. आपण the example पाहू. Then you will get idea how we are applying the rules. Okay, student नावाचं ऑब्जेक्ट आहे. ते ऑब्जेक्ट आपण चार attributes किंवा properties मध्ये आपण describe करतोय. Okay, so we are going to describe it into the four characteristics or properties. The first one is the student ID, then second one is student name, percentage, and branch. Okay, so yes, so if you take example, like first one, data should be atomic or single value. So like are you able to see any column have the two values? Okay. Okay. Hmm? We don't have two values, right? Okay. I just asked like, are you able to see the two values for one column? Values for one column. So, like, how we are just go one row, one column. Like you can see, like, if you just open the Excel box, you will get. On this one, new one. Okay. So, what is our column ID? Name, percentage, percentage, and branch. Okay. So each should have only one ID. Each should have only one name. Each person also single ID. And branch is also the atomic. Okay. You got first point. Like any student can't have more than one name. He don't have like he never he don't have the two ID like student ID. Percentage also like for each standard he has only one percentage like he or she. And like branch also like for specific any standard he has only one branch. He can't in the two branch like computer and okay. So that is the first rule. Then second rule is that while creating the table, data types are mandatory and constraint are optional. Okay. So if you are storing the ID, so we must have to give the specific data type. Like I can store the one. in these format. Like this is one. I'm just making- okay. So I can store one in this way, and I can type like one. So this way also I can store the one value. So if I store this one here, like I'm taking one here and two. If I write this way, three, then this, four, five, and if I write this way, so if you write like this way, it is following the our rule. So we can store the data, but we are not going to follow the rule. So thing is that we must have to follow the rule. So for specific column, we must have to give the data types. So for each column, like every column have only one data type. So whatever data we are going to store, it will be in the structured format. Okay. Then next one, okay, we understand the data types. Okay. Then constraint. So whenever I will in the constraint, then I will tell like what is the constraint and why they are optionals. For now, I will just give one example. If you are filling any Google form, okay, and you are writing your name, so if you start with a digit, it is not allowing you to enter the data, right? Else, if you are providing your Gmail ID and you don't have any at the rate symbol in it, then it is not allowing you to submit the form. So that is the one kind of constraint. So we'll see like what are the different constraints in the SQL. Okay. Then rather than storing data in one table, we can store it into the multiple table. Okay, and then we can join it using the key constraint. Okay. So for that, we'll take one example. So I have student ID here. Okay, this is the my student data, and then that is like student uh, have some PRN number like the things. Like student ID is for the college, but PRN number is for the university. Okay, and one more thing, he has Aadhaar card number as well. Okay, Aadhaar card number is also there. So on Aadhaar card we have different details like date of birth, your address, your mobile number. In PRN number, it will display your branch, your college name, your university name. Okay, so if you store all data together, then what do you think? Like, is it easy to manage or difficult to manage? Hmm? Is it to manage? Like, if I tell you, find yes, it could be very difficult because we are storing data in single table. So your column name, like column will be the like, more number of columns we have. And thing is that you can identify the records because you may have the different like if I ask you just tell me the name start with Shubham and PRN number will start with this and this one. Okay. And then if I ask you tell me the university name, these all those things. So you can manage the data, but it will be the difficult to manage. And another thing, it will affect on your the performance of your system. So while creating or while designing any database, keep one thing in mind. You will keep one object data in one table, another object you will take the another table to store the data. Then if you want to establish relation between these two tables, then we need to use some constraint and the key attributes. So key attributes which help you to identify records uniquely, okay, and constraint used to validate the data. Okay. So for now, just keep in mind we are going to use the different table. Like for each table, we are going to create two table. Okay. So keep just these things in mind. Okay. Student like from online batch, like, did you understand what I'm telling? Yes. So yes. Yeah, for every object we are going to create new database. So that we Like if you use for every object new database, so we are following the EF code rules, which is come under the relational model. Okay. Okay. Then last one, to validate the data, we can ask data type to constraint. Like as I told you, if you are giving like you are filling any form, then the system is validating the data. So if you like in the field of the mobile number, if you type any character, it is not accepting. So they are just validating the data before inserting it to the table. Okay. So for today, like we'll stop here. We have to just revise the things, okay? Because I think we covered more than 10 concepts. Okay, concepts are small, but you need to understand. Okay, if you understand well, then in future, like you will get the things easily. Like when we are going to create multiple tables, then you should know how to design database. Then what is the role of data type and constraint? What is the role of the key attributes? All the things we should understand. Okay. Any question, any doubt, कोणती जसं नाही समजली तर उद्या सेशनच्या स्टार्टिंगला विचारू शकता. Okay. If you have any doubt, then you can put it down or tomorrow as well in the beginning of the session. Okay. Online batch. Anyone have any doubt? Are you getting things like what I am teaching, what I am teaching? समजते की डोक्यावरतून जाते, बोर होते की फास्ट होते, सांगत चला. आज सांगा उद्या त्याच्यात सुधार करता येईल. नाहीतर क्लास संपल्यानंतर तुम्ही सांगितलं सर तुम्ही शिकवत होते पण आम्हाला समजलं किंवा आमचं फास्ट होत होतं तेव्हा काहीच फायदा नसणार आहे. ओके. सो काही पण इनपुट्स असतील तुम्ही देऊ शकता. ओके. आपण त्याच्यात चेंज करू. ओके. फ्रॉम ऑनलाईन बॅच as well. Yes, Abhijit, we are to create the database and table. Normally, we are following it for the table. While creating table, then we have to follow the accordance because yeah, for the database as well, but database has not like such a kind of problem like data types and key attributes. Key attributes we can use, but the data is not there. Okay. Any other question? Okay. And thing is that we need to create one Google like the group in the classroom. Okay. So I will create it and I will share the link. So you can implement it on it. And also the thing is that for the future assignment you can use it. Okay. So and for future assignment, what is the time I will give in that time? I have to submit. Otherwise, I will not accepting any response. So if I give the deadline of the 10 o'clock, then you must have to submit it before 10 o'clock. If you are trying to submit after 10 1, 10 2, not accept. Okay. And notebook वगैरे follow करायचं आहे. तर notebook तुम्हाला सांगितलं. Okay. So it's totally your responsibility. Uh, okay, Abhijit, what you want to tell? Create the different. So for online batch and offline batch, like are we taking or hello? I will create I need to take the context from the Kapil sir and I think everybody is added in the group, right? These two groups. Okay, so yes, what will I do? I will send the link in the group. Okay, you have to just join that. Okay. Okay, I will create two different groups. But I need to identify who is for the online batch. What will I do? I will just give name that is offline and online batch and share both link in the both group. Okay, so you can just identify which one batch you are in. You can just select that one. Okay. Okay, question right about that. Feedback the past होता है डाउट्स तो मुझे विचार सकता और ते सांगण्यात येतं की आपण समजा फास्ट प्लस म्हणजे तुम्हाला आता जे काही पाहिजे ते आता देऊ शकता तुम्ही कोणाला काही समजत नाहीये ऐसा कुछ है क्या हो जाएगी तुम्हाला स्टॉप okay like normally I'm making okay and I will take it in consideration as well I will explain it in this okay so I don't have any problem also so yeah public session and if you want to understand any concept from this one also just let me know before starting session okay, so I will just cover this we will go to next and tomorrow time will be the 6 o'clock no because I have I need to manage it as well 6 o'clock that is from my side I actually that I have to manage the office as well so and if I want to come in at 6 o'clock I need like leave for my office at 5 o'clock so from injury I am so it is taking time so if I want to come here at 5 o'clock then I need to left from there at 6 o'clock sorry 4 o'clock so that is not possible for me. As I committed, sir, I will be available after 5 or 6 o'clock, like that. Yeah, 6 is okay. Anybody have any suggestion from online batch like regarding time? Like online batch, I can manage. I can teach you at 6 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the night. Don't have a problem. Or if you tell me teachers are at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, that is also fine for me. But for the offline batch, it's not possible. Yeah, Abhijit, for you morning is fine, but I need to take the hours calculation. Yes. Yeah, from tomorrow we'll start at sharp 6 o'clock. Okay. Today, due to the some technical issue, we delayed 2 minutes, and you guys also come late, like 5 minutes. Okay. So we like to present on time. We can start session. From tomorrow, I will take care of it, like technical thing. So yeah. Okay. Do you have any question? Hmm? Okay. Which application you're using? Just give me 1 minute. Okay. So student, we joined online batch. The session is over. If you want to leave the session, then you can. And if you want to be the session, then I will be here like for next 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah, okay. You can just go. Okay. Uh, okay. Uh, I need to check the things like I have some project, but I don't know I have the data because during college I was keeping all those things, but right now I think that is it. Yesterday I was listening to yeah. Instead of those, of course, we like. So actually, my project is based on the blockchain. Blockchain. That is the blockchain technology. Yeah. So like for this one, you need to understand all the things like what is happening in the blockchain, what is data mining, how the miner are in the blockchain, how data is get stored, how we are running security, all those things you need to understand. So I don't know how much time you have to do those things. I can just check the data. I can also last week. I was submitting my project also April and before. Yeah. I would like to I love it. So, I think it's about you just mobile number and check the because like I may have all the reports and all those things, but I need to check because the want the stock and those ones. So that thing I need to check. Only taking like 40 or less. Uh, like we put on in the service. So, yeah, I will check like from my friend class and everything. And, yeah, I check. This guys. Yeah. And yes, like I can do like a design the project from scratch, but it will take too much time. Oh, that is only what is that. The basic background was non-IT. My degree background was non-IT. So suddenly I'm saying, okay. First, थोड़ा मेरे को problem हो रहा है. Okay, no problem. Then I am the defense. My eyes color blindness से मैं medical में over गया था. Okay. मैं वो interest किया था. But family second में मैं MCA entrance लिख के मैं MCA join किया था. This is not okay. Architect and teaching like no sir, I understand clearly. What? Understand. Because of I'm so busy that my already yeah. My Pune and Sikkim. Okay. So 6 months I was getting Pune. Okay. So it's MCA because of that also in this Pune. Okay. He was also understand. Okay. Okay. I will check the like frankly. For the environment, so college for the environment. Yes, yes. And just find the impact rate, like I will directly forward to you. Just give me your mail ID. There is my phone number. Okay. Okay. The thing is that these things are new. Have you seen me तुमच्यासाठी? सो याच्यासाठी एकच ऑप्शन आहे, क्लासमध्ये शिकवलं, घरी जाऊन रिपीट करणं. कारण जोपर्यंत तुम्ही फॅमिलीयर नाही होत त्या गोष्टीसोबत, तोपर्यंत तुम्हाला, कारण का लर्न करता याच्यात तुम्ही ऐकलंय कदाचित. सो दॅट्स वाय yeah, and your background is non IT, so it will take some time to understand the things. Okay, but these all the things are the technical term. Okay, and as I given the examples of it, so you can just relate the things to the real world and just try to keep it in mind. What is the thing exactly? What is the concept? Okay, concept लक्षात ठेवा, म्हणजे त्याच्यावरतीच focus करा. You can just end. Yeah, just try and okay. So thank you. Even then, कारण माहिती आहेच होतं. तर हे जे इंजिनिअरिंगला बिलॉंग करतात त्यांना अंडरस्टँड करायला सोपं जातं. सो आपण नॉर्मली आपण ट्रॅक चेंज करतो. सो वी नीड we need to do some more, like take some more efforts. Yes, but जसं मी सांगितलं तसं घरी जाऊन ओके, आय विल शेअर द स्लाइड ॲज वेल. एकदा घरी गेलो मी स्लाइड शेअर करतो, कारण का सगळ्याच करू शकत कट करून सगळ्या तेवढा अपलोड करा तुम्ही गुगल क्लासरूमला मी अपलोड करून देईल. सो यू कॅन ॲक्सेस इट फ्रॉम देअर और व्हॉट्सअप ग्रुपला आजच्यासाठी व्हॉट्सअप ग्रुपला शेअर करेल. नेक्स्ट पासून मी गुगल क्लासरूमला अपलोड करते. सो लर्न करा, काही नाही तर परत विचार. इफ यू like doubts वगैरे असतील तर just ping me WhatsApp, then I will become like a late of 10 minutes. So before starting class, we can just provide things. So like who is from the non-IT, so for them I need to spend more time. And for the others, we can just go in the one spot. Okay. No, 6 o'clock, like सरांना जी चीज कमी